name's Jen Peterman, and I'm the Executive Director of the Oxford Lafayette Humane Society. We don't turn anybody away for any reason, because what we have found is, we don't want a litter of puppies dropped on the highway because someone didn't have a place to put them. We don't want, a litter of kittens left on someone's doorstep because there was no place for them. So we take in everything that comes to the door. Last year, that equated to almost 5,500 animals that came to this facility alone in the calendar year.
Well, I mean, this one is, you still got
That come in, it could be a few days old, they could be 3 weeks old, they could be 6 months old. So puppies, kittens, dogs, cats, they could come in at any age.
Very good.
Okay, is she sick?
A little bit. Yeah, she's been running a little fever. So we can get her some chicken tenders, and she seems to enjoy them. She's on medicine. Her's a sweetheart too. Aren't you, Kirby? Okay, that's it. Good girl.
As far as the adoption process, it's pretty simple. Again, social media has changed that completely, because a lot of times people will just see a picture and maybe have never even met the animal and go, that's the dog, the cat, the whatever for me. So they can happen that way. Someone can just see a picture. We actually have an application online at our website, so they can even put the application in online and go about it that way. All of our animals also go on to Pet Finder, which goes nationwide. So it's nothing for us to get a call from Michigan or California or Maine and say, I saw this dog on Pet Finder and I really want to get it. We just flew one to California not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. We've got one that we're trying to get to the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. So we shuttle them out from sea to shining sea, essentially. And then the other adoption process is just the general, people walk in the door and just kind of walk around and see which animal, they connect with, and then they can fill out an application here. It takes about 24 hours for us to process that, and then after 24 hours, usually the ball's rolling.
Okay. Now, I've known in the past some animal shelters conduct home visits. Do you guys do that as well?
We don't do home visits. Our application process We ask for an address. If someone's under 21, we ask for a parent's information. Or if you're financially still reliant on your parent, we ask to be able to call them. We contact, if you rent or lease, we contact all landlords or owners of condos or houses.
Right.
And if someone has an animal already, we ask for a vet reference. So we cover a lot of different bases. And also on the adoption application, it kind of asks different scenarios about, you know, if your dog doesn't want to walk on the leash, how are you going to train it? If your cat won't use the litter box, how are you going to work around that? So
Right.
we ask some telltale signs or telltale questions in the adoption application too.
Okay. So how do you guys handle when animals first come in? How do you handle the aggressive animals?
You know, we never just take it at face value. We usually do a lot of hands-on with the animal. Now, if an animal has attacked or bitten anyone, that is a completely different situation. So it's kind of a quarantine situation. The animal has to be observed for 10 days, especially if the animal's never had a rabies vaccination. So you have that whole set of aggression issues. And then, you know, maybe someone comes in and just says, you know, I've had my dog all my life and we just had a baby and the dog doesn't like the baby. The dog loves everyone, but it's just, and it might be just vying for, you know, attention or competition for the owners. So in that situation, we go, okay, this dog's great, but it just doesn't need to go to a home with children, you know. And vice versa. Sometimes we have dogs that, you know, are high energy, want to play all the time, and we go, this has to go to a home with kids, you know, where it's going to be burning a lot of that energy off, and it doesn't need to go to someone who's, you know, wants to come home and just sit on the couch. You know, this dog, or usually a dog, not so much a cat, needs to get out and burn off the energy. So even in those situations, we try to, you know, match up the owner or match up the adopter with the animal, whether it be for behavioral issues or energy issues or size issues.
Okay. So for someone who wants to volunteer here at the shelter, are there any special requirements?
As far as volunteering, no. I always say we have kids that come in and maybe are 4 and 5 years old, and we have like a newspaper station in the back where we line all the puppy cages with newspaper, and all you have to do is sit there and unfold newspaper. Most 4 and 5 year olds, 6, 7 year olds can do that. Anybody who's under 15 years of age, we usually ask for a parent to be here with them.
Okay.
But we have, you know, different stations like that that are appropriate for all ages. A lot of our college students want to come in and socialize with the animals. They want to take a dog over to the dog park and play ball and
stress reliever is what I call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of college girls want to come into the kitten room and just let all the kittens out and play with kittens and socialize them. We have a lot of retirees who come in and say, you know what, I can give you 2 and 3 days a week, and I'll come in and I'll do all the laundry that you put in that laundry room, which is fantastic for us. Our washing machines and our dryers start at 6:30 in the morning, and we usually don't turn them off till 7 o'clock at night. On premise, we have about 150 animals, so you can imagine how much laundry goes into that.
Oh yeah. So do you guys have a trainer or a veterinarian on staff?
We do not have a trainer or a veterinarian on staff. We have veterinary clinics that we work with in town. We do offer a low-cost spay and neuter program, but they help us with those spays and neuters. And then as far as a trainer, we do have a few people that volunteer their time with us and say, you know, I'll come if you have an animal that's having a particular issue or an adopter that's having a particular issue with a pet that they've adopted, I'll come and work one-on-one. I'll donate my time to that. So we have a lot of, again, that kind of falls under the volunteer umbrella, but we don't have a behaviorist or a veterinarian on staff.
Okay. So the last question, how do you see the OLHS in the future, like 10 years from now? Like, I know you guys are still going to be involved with social media, but as far as, you know, giving animals to people throughout the country, like how do you see that process going?
How do I see it changing or anything? I think that part will probably only grow, especially with, you know, different, we put all our animals on different portals, which pushes them out to different websites, so different people all around the country can see them. I do think that, you know, our main mission right now is spaying and neutering to help the overpopulation problem. It is an epidemic in this area and the surrounding counties. as far as people not being able to or not wanting to get their animals spayed and neutered. And if we can get on top of that, we can get on top of our overpopulation problem. And that a way, then our numbers will come down and we can really just concentrate on getting the animals that come in the door to the very best homes possible.
Okay.
And not have to worry about, 100 dogs walking in the door in one day. But that's going to be through education and we can do that through social media too. I've kind of made a point to try to go into a lot of the school systems even with the elementary kids, because if you sit there and talk to them about, just the basics, just say, you'll have a better pet. We really don't need to have a litter of puppies. If you ever want to see puppies, you can come to the animal shelter and see all the puppies you want to. Let's tell mom and dad how important it is to get Spot or Fluffy spayed and neutered. Kids are very persuasive in that, so we're trying to get into the school systems too and press upon the younger kids
Right.
how important it is.